What's your I'm old now indicator? I'm almost always tired. But not like sleepy tired and more like feeling thin. That makes sense. All those adults I used to see around with young kids are my peers now. Also, there are a lot less people who are way older than me now. I have an app for identifying bird calls. I'm happy when I can hear the mockingbird that seemingly nests in my neighborhood. I hate unnecessary noise. I really appreciate silence and calm. When you're filling out surveys and questionnaires, then you realize you're selecting the next age range. When I was a kid in 90s, the 60s were ancient history. I refused to make the logical connection about the current state of the 90s. The 90s were just a few years ago. I have no idea WTF my young 2025 coworkers are talking about half the time. Just knowing that now whenever someone takes a photo of me on their phone and then shows me the photo, I will always see a little old lady staring back at me. I went back to my hometown after being gone about 20 years. I heard myself say, man, this is crazy. I remember when this was all dairy farms. My nephew that I used to babysit and change his diapers is turning 41 this year. His kid is turning 13. When I realized some of my coworkers weren't even alive when 9/11 happened. When you are just chatting to someone and they compare you to their mother. I want to be home before the street lamps turn on. I got excited about buying a steam mop. I can't stand up without making some sort of noise. It might be a groan, a creak, a pop, or a sigh. My days as a ninja are over. Realizing that I consider 9 p.m. a perfectly reasonable time to say, well, it's about time to hit the hay. I say when I was your age. Unironically. I'd rather clean the house on a Saturday afternoon than go to a bar and socialize with strangers. When people ask me how old I am, I respond with how old do I look and get really excited about the guessing game. I never had kids, but suddenly all my friends are grandparents. When you hear Nirvana being played on adult contemporary radio stations, my back hurts, and that's the default state. And when I have to pee, there's no buildup. I don't have to pee for hours, and then at some random second, I'm immediately doing the pee-pee dance and running to the bathroom. I square up my spine and get into a safe position quickly before I sneeze. My boobs are more threats versus assets now. I have no idea who most of the celebrities mentioned on social media are. Started to feel old when I was no longer the target demographic for youth culture. Music awards shows. Wife and I spend the entire time asking each other who? When I had 2 doctor appointments on the same day. Being trained at a new job by PPL 10 years younger than me. This morning I was scrolling through Instagram and came across some asinine post of a huge mansion with the caption, "You get paid £1 million to live here with your bestie. Tag them so they can start packing." My first thought was, damn, the heating bill must be expensive. Being more excited about the blossoming of trees and the end of winter than the next party. This actually was a topic with younger friend. Younger coworkers call the clothes I used to wear in high school vintage. I graduated high school in 2005. I once saw a Nirvana shirt I got from Hot Topic in 2003 at a vintage store with a $150 price tag. Seeing your styles being turned into retro trends really makes me feel like I'm 1,000 years old. I noticed it when workers in stores and restaurants began to refer to me as sir. My boss is younger than me. When cops and doctors look like teenagers. I went to bed at 10:45 p.m. on Friday night and missed the Northern Lights. All my friends saw them because they were actually out doing things lol. During a conversation at work about favorite movies, I mentioned John Wayne, and one young guy said, "Who's that?" It takes longer to get out of the bed in the morning than it does to fall asleep. Gray in my pubes. Colonoscopy time. You start feeling that music from your childhood is better than anything coming out today. I can't move without groaning. Literally getting up out of a chair makes me groan. When I got excited when I saw tomato soup was on special sale. I've got heaps. Left knee. Right hip. Bald head. I felt truly old when I got excited about receiving socks as a gift. Knees fucking hurt. Some people ask me if my 26-year-old sister is my daughter. I'm 37. When you say you're DOB and it starts with 19. My favorite hobby is sleeping. Reading any text involves first determining which glasses I need, if any, and how far I need to extend my arm in order to see the print. There are some things I've just given up ever seeing again, like undoing knots in necklace chains. I can't see clearly enough no matter what I do to untangle a chain. The first time I heard the word Riz, I realized I was old and out of touch. If I go to an event or had an exciting day, I am absolutely exhausted the next morning. I need time to decompress before the next exciting thing. It's like my excitement has a refractory period. I have coworkers young enough that I could have kids their age. Seeing stuff from my childhood and it reminding me of those good times, and it seems like so long ago. See a poster for a big music festival and you know exactly zero of the bands playing. Mature women in porn are younger than me. Standing up. If I eat after 7 p.m., heartburn is almost guaranteed. Upside down face. I am happy when people cancel events because it means I can stay home, relax with some wine and watch my favorite show. Used to love sitting on the floor. Not anymore, though it's one of my many enemies these days. All the various medicines I take. Last week at work I referenced a policy document from 2002 to indicate how long the government had been trying to achieve something. My co-worker said, "Oh, that's the year I was born." Damn. Refilling my pill pack on Saturday evenings. IYKYK. Kids be like, I grew up with Charlie D'Amelio, I grew up with Olivia Rodrigo. I'm sitting here like, wait, what, who? The Mummy came out 25 years ago last week. Saw a pic of insert your favorite Hollywood star and said, damn, she is getting old. I'm only 17, but the fact that I have people in my college who don't know what DVDs, CDs are. Watching the Grammy Awards show, and not recognizing any of the rappers. I'm from the 80s and saw Public Enemy, Eric B. Rakim, Salt Peppa, LL Cool J, Dougie Fresh, Slick Rick, etc. in concert. I honestly don't know who these rappers are nowadays, and they all sound the same. Me, my younger brother, and our younger cousin had a conversation about the quality of vacuum cleaners. There's a soundtrack for getting up.